Hey guys, I am cmasupra, and this is another Company of Heroes gameplay commentary video. This one has a bit of a story behind it the story is, my name in this game is I am bad at this game, as you may know. I am not bad at the game, that's my name. And I saw this guy enter the chat channel I was in called I'm the worst player ever. So I was like, our names are so similar, let me check your stats. Okay, your stats are level 10, I'm level 11. Let's battle each other, because we're so close in stats and our names are so similar. So I offered to battle him, he accepted, and we've decided to play this game. And this is the game that ensued. And if I remember correctly, it's actually been like 2.5 weeks since I recorded this. If I remember correctly, it is a good game. And I did watch some of it before I recorded this so I could refresh my mind about what went on. And yeah. Okay, so anyways, I built my Wehrmacht quarters with 2 pioneer squads, just like I usually do. And I sent both of them to the left side, which is something I usually do as Wehrmacht on this map. As Americans, I'll send 1 engineer squad to one side, 1 engineer squad to the other. And whichever one I don't get countered on is the one I capture, and that's the side I fight from. But as Wehrmacht, your pioneers are weaker than engineers, which has been ever since patch 2.0, I think. Because 1.71 was the last patch that pioneers were just as strong as engineers. But yeah, pioneers are now weaker than engineers, and so they don't win battles, and I want them both to be on the same side. Sadly, this doesn't really work out for me. He sends rifles and engineers in, and I try to micro my units. So I think no, that Pioneer Squad is retreating. I did not lose it. Yes! But yeah, I'm winning this battle now, actually, because his rifles are good at close range, my Volks are good at long range, and we are fighting at long range in cover. I benefit more from cover than he does, and I also benefit from range more than he does. So I'm pretty much going to win this battle against the rifles. Rifles retreat. I still have 4 men with some nice health. My pioneers are almost dead. That's really bad. Ooh, he's trying to capture that fuel point before he retreats. It might not work in his favor, does it? Yeah, I think those engineers get away. I now have an MG42 set up. I was doing the build, which lost a pioneer squad, but I was doing the build Volks MG, I think, because I do have Volks building in the Wehrmacht quarters, and I have a Volks out first, then I brought in an MG, next will be Volks. And I am repositioning my MG while the rifles are suppressed, because as long as your Volks keep firing at the rifles, they will not lose their suppression. The Volks provide enough of a suppression amount that the suppression from an MG42 is not lost on rifles when the MG42 stops firing. And here comes a Jeep. So what do? I send both the Volk squads, one that just popped out and the other one that has been fighting, to the rescue from my MG. And a little fun fact is those submachine gunners next to the MG, that are part of the MG squad, are actually really strong. They're not as weak as you would think they are. I've had them take out an engineer squad without the main MG firing at the engineer squad one bit. So they are pretty strong. Just a little fun fact. Okay, so here I saw his rifles, his Jeep, and his engineers. His engineers are alone, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go kill you. And then you can't do anything about it. Awesome, I got him to retreat. He's at half health with those engineers. So unless he builds a triage center, he's not going to be healing him back up, because he can't reinforce the squad. He has all 3 members. So that was an awesome fight for me. I pulled back because the rifles were coming to attack me. That's not something I should have done, actually, because I have 2 Volk squads that are high health against his 1 rifle squad. I would have won that battle easily. I don't know why I didn't fight it. Oh well. I now have 2 MGs and 2 Volks on the field, although 1 Volk squad just retreated. And now that I see his rifles trying to flank me on the left, I am repositioning my MGs so that they will suppress the rifles. And my Volk squad is gonna do what? Just stand there, apparently? I think my Pioneers are still standing there on the left. They are! They need to move! Move! Yeah, move there, behind the MG. And he sees my MG setting up, so he moves away. That is a smart move. You never want to try and fight where there are MGs facing you. You will not win. Unless you just have an overwhelming force, but 2 rifles is not overwhelming. Overwhelming is like 6 rifle squads. Because 1 MG42 can suppress a whole group of rifle squads if they're close enough to each other, as you will see later in this video. So I'm building a bunker. I think I'm gonna make it a med bunker. I'm not really sure, but that's what I would do in this position now, if I were playing. Ooh, the Jeep is back. And what am I gonna do about it? Send my Volks, that's what I'm gonna do. Send my Volks to the rescue. Get closer, yeah. And I'm gonna make it a med bunker. So I moused over the medic bunker icon. And there we go, it's a med bunker. We're turning into a med bunker. Ooh, I just shot the Jeep. Oh, that was nice. He tried to do a 2-pronged flank, but he didn't do very well at it. He had rifles, 1 rifle squad, a Jeep, and an engineer squad on the right side that I managed to get them all to retreat, and 1 rifle squad on the left side, which I managed to get to retreat with that MG42. And I'm now probing on the right side. The reason I'm probing right now is because I'm winning on the left side. I feel like I've killed enough of his manpower to where I can attack the right side safely. If he decides to attack my left side still, then I'll be able to counter him. And the other reason is because if I attack his right side, especially his fuel, then he's not getting that fuel, and he's going to be sending units to try and counter my Volk squad. And because those units are not fighting on the left side, it will be easier for me to have the whole left side. So it's just a win-win for me. Now that's something you should not do, probing that is, if you are having trouble fighting where you are. I mean, you can move your whole army if you want, which I have done sometimes, and it does work. But it's not something you should do if you're having trouble, because you're just going to thin your forces out, and then he's going to overrun one side, and you just lost half your forces doing that. So that would not be good. Something I should mention is, at the beginning of the game, you might have noticed that he had the whole right side. I had just a little bit of the left side, so I was way lower on resources than he was. That's pretty typical for the Wehrmacht versus American matchup. Wehrmacht fight best with Volks and MG42s, holding a small amount of territory, and fighting against the rifles, because that kills the manpower that the American player has, because you kill his units, he has to reinforce them with manpower, but you lose the fuel and munitions battle. In the end, it is the right way to play Wehrmacht, because it's a good strategy. It works. It's proven to work. Many people use it. And where was I going with that? Oh yeah, upkeep. So the whole idea of the American army is strong early game, weak end game. And one way they do that is with upkeep. If you don't know what upkeep is, basically, like, each rifle man in a squad costs 1 manpower a minute to keep him alive. We'll say that's how much it is. I really have no idea what the number is. But his upkeep would be 1 manpower per minute. So if you have 6 riflemen in 1 squad, that's 6 manpower a minute that you are not getting. So if you're missing like 30 manpower a minute because you have enough rifles and engineers, then that's quite a bit of manpower lost by the end of the game just to upkeep, and that's something the Wehrmacht player does not have to deal with. Wehrmacht has very, very little upkeep. And so little, in fact, that I'm at plus 285 manpower, because every point you capture is plus 3 manpower per minute. And something else I meant to say was engineers have a much higher upkeep than rifles, so if you have 3 engineer squads, you'll have a higher upkeep than 3 rifle squads. So it varies by unit, varies by how many men you have on the field. But the general idea is Americans have a strong early game and a weak late game, partially due to upkeep. And that's what the supply art does, is reduce the amount of upkeep you have, so you have more manpower at the end of the game. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah. On the left side, at the beginning of the game, I didn't have much territory, but I was winning the manpower war. I was killing his infantry. And the upkeep was helping me win the manpower war. So he is really low in manpower right now, but he has plenty of fuel and munitions because he had the whole right side. Now it's kind of switching because I was winning the manpower war so much, so easily, that he is now so low on manpower that I can take over the map and he can't do anything about it. That's pretty much what's happening right now. And now I'm building a Wehrmacht quarters. Not a Wehrmacht quarters. Not a... Wow, Wehrmacht quarters? No, try Kampfkraft. Dang it, what's it called? It's the red building that gives veterancy to Wehrmacht units. And my probing on the right side is now done because of those 3 squads that decided to show up. So, if I am... Oh, there's 2 rifle squads coming. MG, set up! I need you to suppress these squads because I cannot fight them on my own. Why did I have an accent right there towards the end? Oh, he's nading my MG. Yes, one guy survived. I'm nading him. Oh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We killed a whole 5-man rifle squad with 1 grenade. And that's my grenade. That's a weaker grenade than the Americans get. Oh, I just killed 2 of his rifle squads. He is so screwed, but so is my MG right here. 1 grenade in, and kapooey. All 3 of my men dead from that MG squad. What's this thing called? Kampfkraft Center. There we go. That's what it's called. How did I forget the name of that? Probably because I just build it and don't think about what I'm building. I think like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. I think I mentioned this in another video actually. I don't think in terms of building names, I think in terms of tier names. So like tier 1 would be Wehrmacht quarters, tier 2 is Kriegsbarracks, tier 3 is Sturm Armory, tier 4 is whatever makes the Panzer IV and Panther, whatever building that is. I don't even know what it's called. Wow. But yeah, I think in terms of that. And then the veterancy building, I just think veterancy building. Ooh, is that grenade gonna kill me? Oh, killed 2 of my men. And he decided to send in paratroopers. That's not the right time to be sending in paratroopers, just because I have 2 grenadier squads there. Paratroopers are not gonna win against them. Oh! Ooh. He just stole my MG with that airborne squad. Is it gonna survive? It survived according to the minimap. Yeah. The airborne squad got out with my MG. Wow. That was nice. It's something I would never have done, and I obviously didn't expect it. That's how he got it. Nice one. And here I was criticizing him for sending in the airborne squad right then. The only downside to him taking that MG is it cost him a lot of manpower. 1 MG for me costs 250 manpower. It costs him 375 to call in that airborne squad. And I can't remember how much it is to reinforce each guy, but it's a lot. So it cost him a lot of manpower to get that MG. I'm not really sure it was worth it, but it was surely something I didn't expect, and it might hurt me in the later part of this game. Luckily, he is so off the map right now that I'm able to probe on the right side and actually decap the fuel and take his cutoff point. And sadly, that means on the left that I have no forces, because I'm also kind of off the field on the left. Let's see. On the left, I have all of 1 med bunker. Now he's taking my fuel. But from that med bunker, I have gotten 1 squad out of it. which paid for itself because it costs 150 manpower plus 50 munitions to buy the med bunker, and you get a free 300 manpower squad out of it. You get unlimited of those until you stop dying around there. It's based on the number of men that die around there. And yeah, med bunker is all I have left there. It's paid for itself because a 300 manpower unit is more than a 150 manpower unit, which is, it only costs 150, but I got 300 manpower out of it. Am I gonna kill this MG? Maybe? No. Dang it. Oh well. I did quite a bit of damage to him. I don't know if he has a triage center yet or not. It looks like he does not. But we'll have to see. Ooh, he threw a satchel on my medic bunker. And we missed it blowing up, but it's no longer on the map, on the mini-map, so yeah, it's no longer there. I'm obviously going to win this fight. I have Veteran C level 3, he does not. He has some Veteran C 1, but not enough to counter my 2 Vet 3 squads, which leads me on to talking about Veteran C. Veteran C, Veteran C, Veteran C is... Veteran C is not something you can say 3 times in a row like that. So, wow, I'm winning that fight easily. Ooh, here comes some rifles. Anyways, Veteran C. Wehrmacht's Vet level 3 is not as good as American's Vet level 3, but American's Vet level 3 only applies to 1 squad at a time, so it's a lot harder to get American Veteran C, so it's appropriate that it's stronger than Wehrmacht's level 3 Veteran C. And yeah, Wehrmacht's level 3 Veteran C applies to every squad, including brand new squads that come out, so the fact that you have to pay for it and it's weaker balances it out. So if you're a Wehrmacht player and you have Vet 3 and you're trying to fight an American player and it's 1 squad of Volks versus 1 squad of rifles and neither one has upgrades, those rifles are going to win because their Veteran C is stronger than the Wehrmacht Veteran C. Especially if the rifles get in close, because that's when they do the most damage. If they don't get in close, there's a chance you might win. I don't know, I've never actually had that fight, because typically by the time the Americans have a Vet 3 rifle squad, they also have BARs, so I have no idea if you would have a chance of winning that or not, but the American player is more likely to win that, especially if they get in close. And now he has an MG setting up on my fuel point, or rather the left fuel point, which is not my fuel point. It was earlier in the game, but not right now. And he's taking my cutoff point in the left. I do call that mine because... Actually, that's his cutoff point in the left. I just owned it, although I no longer own it. My cutoff point on the left is at the bottom left of the map. His cutoff point is at the top left of the map.
The enemy has 300 points.
Anyways, let's see. He has 296 points, I have 489. I have the whole right side, which has 2 victory points. So I'm doing well there. I actually also have a 3rd victory point on the left side, but he's decapped it now. And these MP40 Volks are really strong against Airborne. Airborne are good at close range, but MP40 Volks are even better. Sadly, MP40 Volks cannot counter Airborne Squad, Rifle Squad, and an MG42 at the same time. If they could do that, that would be so unbalanced. Okay, so what am I doing now? I'm trying to flank his MG, that's what I'm doing. And it is working, although I think he's not going to retreat it. Good move, you did not retreat it. You're backing it up relative to my units. And you are trying to keep it alive. If he had retreated, he would have lost it pretty much. Because he would have retreated right into my squads. Ooh. Am I throwing a grenade? And it kills him! Yes! And now focus fire on the Airborne squad with both of my squads. Sending the 3rd Grenadier squad in. Sending whatever I can to fight this epic infantry battle. Ooh. I need a retreat. Retreat! Yeah, there we go. Now he has a double vet rifle squad with BARs. And I try to throw a grenade appropriately so that it'll kill a unit, but I don't see the grenade being thrown. There we go. Sadly, it didn't do much of anything to his rifle squad because it was too far away, and didn't do anything to the airborne squad I clicked in on because it was moving. Little trick when throwing grenades is don't click on the squad. Well, this is assuming it's you sitting somewhere and he's sitting somewhere, neither squad is moving. Don't click on the squad when you throw the grenade, click right in front of the squad. That way the grenade will land in the middle of his squad and do a lot more damage than it would have done if you click on the squad. And that is because if you click on the squad, then the grenade typically gets overthrown and it lands behind his squad, but if you click in front of his squad, then when the grenade gets overthrown, it'll land right in the middle of his squad. That's why you should do that. Just a little hint with grenades. Let's see, what else is going on? I'm taking the cutoff point on the left, so all that capping he did on the left side is for nothing because I just took it from him by capturing one simple strategic point. I like the cutoff points on this map. Make it fun. What do I go for next? Do I go... Oh, I go to cover. Oh, that was smart. Here comes an airborne squad. And I'm hoping my Vet 3 Grenadiers can handle his Vet 1 airborne squad with recoilless rifles. And I'm trying to throw a grenade, but it doesn't seem to be working because I was so close. Yes, the grenade killed 2 of his. I'm sure he's going to retreat sometime soon. That's a very weak airborne squad now. Oh, he fired up. That is something you should not do. Fire up actually makes you take more damage than if you had not fired up. Even though you're moving quicker with it, your line of sight is halved, which doesn't make any difference to your damage, but the main reason is because when you fire up, your units are standing up, so they're more likely to be hit by bullets. I mean, it doesn't actually work like that in the game mechanics, in the game code, but that's the best way to think of it. When you fire up, your men are standing up, so they're more likely to get hit. If they're just standing up normally, though, that really has nothing to do with how likely they are to be hit. Because like I said, the way the game is coded is not actually if they're standing or if they're crouched or if they're prone. That doesn't make any difference to how likely they are to get hit. But the best way to think of fire up is like that. If they're standing up, they're more likely to be hit when they have fire up. Okay, so he has a airborne squad on the right side trying to capture my munitions point to get me away from the munitions. I'm not sure that's a smart idea because I'm getting so many munitions that plus 10's not a big deal to me, and he should really be focusing on trying to move on the right side rather than come at me from the front. But at the same time, I am set up for him to try and come at me from the middle of the map, because I expected him to flank me. Ooh, a mortar. But anyways, I expected him to flank me from the middle, so he could get behind my units. I appears to be trying that from the south of the middle, the very bottom of the map. Right, just north of my base, that's what I'm trying to say. Ooh, that was smart. He has an MG firing on my Grenadier squad that I sent to attack the mortar. So my Grenadiers are suppressed. Penned now, and his mortar got out safely. He lost a man and a lot of health, but he got out safely. And there's the MG. And now I have a mortar of my own! I guess we both had the same idea. You might have seen that a Panzer IV came out. I went with the Panzer IV because I wasn't sure if he was going to have tanks, but he does have a lot of infantry, and a Panzer IV can be anti-tank and anti-infantry at the same time. So I got a Panzer IV instead of a Panther or an Austrian. And now he has a Vet 2 rifle squad and airborne squad. So, ooh, did I just hear an AT gun? I sure did. Wow, that Grenadier squad is going down. It might die. Doesn't matter though, it's Vet 3. If it dies, I'll just... I'll just buy it again. It'll already be Vet 3 because of Wehrmacht's Veteran C system. And... oh, I think both of our mortars were firing on the same spot. My mortar was firing on his rifles next to my tank, and his mortar was firing on my tank. So both mortars were landing in the same spot in the same battle, but it did more damage to him than it did to me because mortars do more damage to infantry than they do to tanks, and he's almost killing my tank here. And there it goes from a recoilless rifle, I think. Nice one. My tank didn't do much at all before it died. Am I gonna make another one? Possibly. Do I have Tank Vet 1? I don't know. I don't know if I had Tank Vet 1. I'm guessing I didn't because of how easily my Panzer IV went down. Tank Vet 1 decreases the chance of a round penetrating by 15%. Or at least it did a few patches ago. I assume it's still the same. So, if you have Tank Vet 1, the likelihood of a round penetrating is 15% less. And the way that it determines whether or not the round will penetrate is based on basically how heavy the round is. An AT gun is less likely to penetrate than a recoilless rifle, but when an AT gun does penetrate, it will do more damage. I really like recoilless rifles against Panthers for that reason, just because Panthers are hard to penetrate, but once you do penetrate them, they don't have all that much health. So recoilless rifles are really good against Panthers. Bazookas, on the other hand, from the Rangers, are very unlikely to penetrate. So they usually just bounce off of a Panther, but when they do penetrate, they do a lot of damage, just like an AT gun. But I do prefer recoilless rifles just because they're more likely to penetrate, which means that the opponent that you're trying to fight is more likely to have his tank retreat from the battle because you keep penetrating his tank. And I have another Panzer IV out, so I did as I expected. Ooh, am I gonna kill his mortar? Yes! I killed his mortar. That mortar was a pain for me. Luckily I killed it. Let's see. I am capturing the left side victory point, even though I don't have much of the left side. The whole reason for that is I know he doesn't have all that much in terms of resources, and I have a lot in terms of resources, so any fight that we fight, I will probably win. But I want to end the game as soon as I can to avoid a purging or anything like that. So I capture the victory point instead of going for his cutoff point. Because even if you take his cutoff point, he's still getting about the same amount of manpower, so he can still get a purging. Cutoff point does not cut off manpower and does not cut off experience points. Oh yeah, just a little thing I do. I never buy the last ability in a doctrine unless I need it, because I like to have the plus however many experience things pop up just so I know how much I killed. It helps a lot for me. And ooh, I'm doing defensive artillery. How much am I going to kill with this? Am I going to kill am I going to kill... Dang, I didn't kill it. The airborne squad. His Vet 3 airborne squad. It would have been so nice to kill that with the defensive artillery. If it wasn't Vet 3, I bet it would have died. Because it actually got quite a few hits next to it. That last guy, he got quite a few hits next to him. And he just ran over one of my mines. The MG crew is dead, but I have an MG in the house still. And those engineers are screwed, as are the riflemen. Now that the engineers are dead, he doesn't have a flame squad to come and kill my MG. His mortar might be about to die. This should actually be a second mortar squad, I think, because I already killed one, and there goes that mortar squad. He has now lost 2 mortar squads. I wonder what happened to the MG that he stole from me. I wonder if I killed it or what happened. And he's really trying to drop airborne right here. You see what I did? Is I threw a grenade at the ground near the squad. So as they were landing, a grenade landed in them and killed or damaged some of them. And now that I'm defensive, that satchel is not going to do much to that bunker. Yeah, half health. Anyways, where I was going with the grenade was, when airborne come down, you can't select him for a few seconds. So in that few seconds, he can't escape your grenade. So if you get a grenade off in those few seconds, it's guaranteed to damage him. So it's always a nice thing to do for yourself, not for him. I'm sure he hates you for doing it, but it's a nice thing to do for yourself to make sure you win the game. Because after all, that delay between the squad landing and the squad being selectable is probably intentional. It's been here ever since patch 1.5, which is when I started playing multiplayer, back when the game originally came out. So I assume it's there, or else they don't have a clue how to fix the bug, or they just want to leave the bug in there, which would mean that it's supposed to be there. I know I have 2 Panzer IVs, I didn't notice that. 2 Panzer IVs, but he does have a lot of AT, so I'm not sure how smart of an idea that was for me. We'll have to see how this pans out. I don't remember who wins this, so if you're thinking I'm gonna win this or lose it... Oh, that's a satchel charge! Oh, that satchel charge got my MG, but it did cost him 75 munitions. I'm not sure that was worth the cost. Although he does have the whole left side, it's not like he's too low on munitions. So I guess it was worth the cost, because that MG bugged him so much. And then a strafe to kill my infantry. That was actually really good. Sadly for him, though, that strafe didn't do much at all in terms of making him able to come and kill me. Instead, it let him retreat, and my tanks are not coming in to kill him. And I just bought the heavy rocket artillery, rocket barrage. 200 munitions is how much I need to use that. So I'm going to use it as soon as I can in his base, so that I can hurry up and finish the game, capturing the victory point to hurry up and finish the game. And I placed the rocket barrage between the barracks and the MG nest, as you can see. And I think my voice just changed. I'm going to grab a drink of water, although my Panzer IV is dying from those recoilless rifles. There goes the barracks. Oh. Oh. I just killed my own Panzer IV. Way to go, cmasupra. Anyways, the O that I made there was because I didn't realize I had right-clicked on that rocket barrage, so I didn't actually place it. Because I decided against placing it, and there went both of my Panzer IVs. Yeah, like I said, they didn't turn out to be the smartest idea, and I say oops. But the game is almost over. It was a GG. Anyways, the O was because I realized the rocket barrage did not actually go where I thought it went. I had later placed it somewhere else instead. I think on top of his infantry, but his infantry moved, so it didn't do all that much. Anyways, that was a good game. What does he have left? He has a rifle squad, 2 paratrooper squads. I have 2 full health grenadiers here, which probably would have won the fight that's up ahead of him if the game had continued. What else? Yeah, an HQ, that thingy, almost dead MG nest. What is that thingy? I called it that thingy, but I don't know what it's called. Supply yard, that's what it's called. I have a med bunker, pioneers, lots of units, 3 grenadier squads, a mortar, an MG. I had a lot left, so I would have won anyways if the game had gone on longer. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching.